Hey everyone, welcome back to the Critic-Verse. Today we're continuing with our recap and review of Power Book 4 Force, with Season 2, Episode 7, titled Chicago is Heating Up. Now, before we get to the recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to follow along as I continue to review the rest of the season, to keep updated on all things Critic-Verse, and to help me reach my current goal of 500 subscribers. Now, I hope you've seen the episode, and even though I recap it, this isn't a substitute for the source media, and also will contain spoilers. Now, on to the review. Once again, the episode is titled Chicago is Heating Up. This title is referring to the fact that most of our characters are making moves in this episode. Tommy and Diamond got their coalition underway. Tommy gets Miguel to get the Serbs back in an unexpected way. Shanti, while trying to keep Jenard straight, also makes moves with Claudia to make some money of her own. Tommy and Diamond's beds are heating up with their respective love interests. U.S. Attorney Stacey Marks puts a tighter leash on Vic, which may have more deadly consequences than she thought. The episode begins with Tommy and Maria hooking up at his place when Miguel shows up unannounced, telling him not to retaliate for the Crimson Project's attack. Tommy convinces Miguel to get the cartel contact to cut off the Serbs because they're making the cartel way more money than the Serbs ever could. Diamond's PO makes a surprise inspection, and his PO wants Diamond to speak at the fundraiser for the victims of the Crimson Projects, and says it'll be a quick way to get him off parole, sort of to sweeten the pot. Stacy and Bobby go over the intel they've gotten from Vic, but Stacy wants to press on Vic for more intel, while she herself is being pressed by her contact in the Attorney General's office. Jenard's boy Raheem is talking to Shanti that apparently Jenard is seen as bad for business, and people are saying she's too hypnotized by Dick to see it. She gets physical with him and threatens his life the next time he lets anyone talk bad about her. Tommy and Diamond bring their coalition meeting underway, and they want to talk about retaliating on the Serbs and how much money they're losing because of what they did to the Crimson Projects. Tommy and Diamond talk about how the coalition is meant to end senseless violence and make them all a lot of money, but they gotta unite all the gangs first. And they hope to get a gang called the DSD to get on board to make all the other gangs fall in line. Vic and Jenard talk about Claudia and the deal she tried to offer Jenard, while also Vic tries to talk Jenard down from going after Tommy. Shanti goes to Claudia to take the offer Jenard turned down, and that she's got the bodies to move Claudia's pills. Claudia only agrees to a 50-50 split when Shanti threatens to walk. Next, at the Insane Prince's, Chet questions Miguel and Miguel's recent actions, but Miguel proposes that because of all the money that he's made the cartel, that he should cut off the Serbs because they're bad for business. Next, we're seeing Chet meet with Mirkovich and tells him to end the fighting with Miguel because how bad it is for business. And to teach him humility, he is cutting off of their supply until Mirkovich begs him for it. While one of Stacy's guys keeps tabs on Vic and Tommy, Tommy keeps tabs right back and is well aware of their presence when he correctly identifies the Fed car. Tommy meets with Shanti for the first time, and he comes to collect and introduce himself. Diamond brings Leon a comic book and invites Leon and his mother to hear him speak at the fundraiser. Next, Vic is meeting with Stacy and warns her to stop hovering or she'll get him killed. He informs her he's meeting with the Division Street Devils, DSD, and Stacy wants Vic wired for that meeting. Jenard, going through withdrawal, plans to kill Tommy, but catches Tommy being intimate with Maria Garcia and gets photos. Maria is worried for Tommy's safety because of a past relationship Miguel ended for her, and he tries to put her worries to rest. Next, Claudia and Daphne get robbed at the exclusive strip club, and Shanti demonstrates for the second time why her nickname is Showstopper. Tommy and Diamond want to renegotiate on getting more product for less money from Miguel, considering all the weight that they move for him. And Miguel warns them that it'll be their heads if they fail him. Diamond warns Tommy once Miguel hears about their meeting with the DSD that he'll figure out that Tommy and Diamond are trying to come for his spot, and then he'll come for them. At the fundraiser, Diamond starts his speech, and after taking Leon's advice to heart, he begins to speak from his, and delivers a speech on change. Diamond asks Leon's mom on a date, and she accepts. One of Stacy's guys sets Vic up with the listening device that he's going to be wearing, and it's a necklace, but also gives him a tracker that Stacy wants placed on Tommy's car, putting Vic in further danger. Man, this Stacy. Miguel's abuela warns him not to trust Tommy because trust makes you weak, and reminds him of what happened to his grandfather back in Mexico. But he tells her that he's prepared. Tommy brings Vic to meet with DSD, and they break his rear windshield as a show of force. After meeting with the head of DSD, Tommy says he wants DSD into the coalition, to which he says it's a fantasy. And Tommy makes his sales pitch, but the head of DSD is still hesitant, but gives in once he hears that the Serbs have been cut off and have no product. And then he agrees, and also agrees to repay Tommy for the windshield. And in the final scene, Tommy drops Vic off, but spots the Fed that's been tailing him most of the episode. After Vic is meeting with him, saying Marks wants an update, Tommy pulls up on them, and Vic has to prove he's not a snitch and kills the agent right then and there. End of episode. Man, that episode was keeping it 100. Things definitely are heating up in Chicago. A couple of thoughts I had on the episode. In my first viewing, I didn't catch that the episode title was literal, as there seems to be a heat wave going through Chicago, and most of our characters are shown sweating profusely throughout the episode. The issue that Detective Bobby brought up in how Stacy would care more about her career above doing right and wrong has come to a head in this episode, as her pressing Vic cost her the life of one of her own agents. The earlier scene between Shanti and Raheem felt off because we've never seen them interact before. I mean, we've seen Shanti interact with Little K, one of Jenard's former guys that he killed earlier in the season, but it seems that the Raheem character now has to fill that place since they already got rid of Little K. But then again, because they've never interacted, it just doesn't feel genuine. Just like the scene where she's physically threatening Raheem. One of the guys that was at the coalition meeting was also in a couple episodes of the Disney Plus show She-Hulk. And it's not really a big deal, but I just thought that was funny. Claudia's storyline with her childhood crush feels like the weakest storyline of the episode. And if it weren't for the fact that Shanti has joined their side now, it'd be practically skippable. And it also feels like Claudia kept giving Shanti the look, like she may want to come on to her throughout this whole episode. And it often shows, it's shown in the jealousy that Daphne has when she says she doesn't want Shanti involved in the next project they're moving to. And they also were certainly waving the death flags for Vic's handler in this episode, because Tommy spots him multiple times tailing them, but also mentioning the fact that he had a daughter to make it much more sadder when he died. But honestly, it didn't really have that effect for me. I mean, I kind of like laughed when he died. Leon was quite the wingman for Diamond today, since he clearly saw what was going on between Diamond and his mom, and then he abruptly just steps away. And I think they both noticed that as well. Anyway, what do you think will happen to Vic in the next episode? Let me know in the comments. That's all I have for today. Thanks for joining me in the Critic-Verse, and I'll see you next time.